I need for you to pause what you're doing for 20 minutes because I'm going to share something with you that can absolutely be a game changer for your job search. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 essential AI tools that every job seeker needs in their arsenal, and all of them are for free. So, welcome to Exit to Excel. My name is Latanya. They call me LT, and I am your HR insider and your AI career strategist consultant expert, sharing with you all the tea on everything that's involved in the job search game. So, if you've been following me, then thank you. Please hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribing yet, and share this with someone who can use this information. And if you're new here, then welcome. Comment below and introduce yourself. Would love to know who you are, where you're calling from, and what is your biggest challenge in today's job market. But let's get on with today's episode. Like I said, today I'm going to share with you the 5 essential tools that every job seeker needs. So let's get to it. Now, the first one I'm going to share with you is the one that probably everyone is familiar with and that everybody knows, and that is ChatGPT. So, look, ChatGPT is a workhorse. It will do literally everything. But the thing is, there are some tools that do some things for job seekers far better than ChatGPT does. So I know people will do, their resumes with ChatGPT. They'll prepare for interviews using ChatGPT. But quite honestly, that is not ChatGPT's strong suit. ChatGPT for your job search is your operations manager. It is your project manager to help you stay organized, to stay structured, and to stay consistent. That is what ChatGPT is best for your job search. So, best uses include 30, 60, 90 job search game plans, weekly action list and daily time blocks, job application trackers, interview practice schedules, document organization and naming systems, and prioritization and overwhelm reduction. That is what ChatGPT is best for. Now, why does that matter? It matters because if you've been out here looking for a job, then you know you are trying to keep up with companies you apply to, when you apply to them, who you've heard back from, who you want to follow up with, who you have an interview with. It is a lot to keep up with. And also, if you're like me, if you're not on someone's time schedule, like you have meetings scheduled on your calendar, sometimes you find that your day just gets away from you. And that is where ChatGPT can help you tremendously. So, I'm going to give you a prompt that you can use to give you an example on how to best come up with a game plan to meet your goals and objectives in your job search. So, the prompt is, and this is in ChatGPT, create a 30-day job search project plan with weekly goals, daily tasks, networking tasks, application targets, follow up reminders, and metrics to track. For a job tracker, you can use build a job application tracker with columns for company, role, status, keywords used, resume version, contact person, follow up date, and notes. And then I'm also going to provide for you down below a prompt you can use for a time block week. But the key tip for ChatGPT is using it for structure, systems, and momentum because it will absolutely help you turn your job search and treat your job search like a project, like a major project, and manage it like a project manager versus a panicked applicant who is just all over the place. Okay, so that's ChatGPT. Now, let's talk about Claude. Claude is actually, I don't know, I'm using so many now, it's hard to say which one is my favorite. But I will say that I use Claude in my coaching practice far more than I use any other tool because ChatGPT is an excellent storyteller. It's an excellent writer, much, much better than ChatGPT is. Now, I'll admit, I just got on the ChatGPT game or train about 2 months ago. because I was using, Claude so much. But when I compare the output for resumes, interview prep, even helping me, script my podcast, the output from Claude is so much better because that's what Claude does. Claude is better at writing because it understands nuances, um, emotional, um, emotional empathy and those kinds of things, able to put those things into its writing, is able to connect the dots. That is something that ChatGPT is not as good at. So use ChatGPT to be your writer, to be your tool for your interview prepped. So the best uses for Claude are transforming your accomplishments into strong resume bullets, creating your star and star plus interview stories, explaining gaps and pivots and transitions, creating and crafting compelling human sounding cover letters, and developing your career narrative. I also use it for writing my LinkedIn profile, optimizing my LinkedIn profile. So here's a prompt that you can use in Claude to see what I'm talking about. And you can use this prompt in both Claude and ChatGPT, and you can clearly see the difference. But the prompt is, I'm applying for and put in the role at so and so company, and here's what I did. And you want to put in the text of what you did. Write one resume bullet that leads with impact, uses job matching language, includes a metric, and sounds authentic and not generic. So, oh, and key tip, iterate until it sounds like you. So when you get your output, you don't want to just take what it immediately gives you. You will want to iterate it, even go back to Claude to revise again if it doesn't sound like you, because Claude, the more it works with you, just like ChatGPT, it gets to know you, and it will more and more then start to, produce output that sounds like you. But put this into both ChatGPT and Claude and see the difference, and then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, tool number three. Tool number three is called Perplexity. Perplexity is a real time research and market intelligence tool. Now, I know a lot of people, again, will use ChatGPT to do their company research when they're preparing for an interview. The problem with ChatGPT and Claude, quite frankly, is that they are time bound. There's a limit on their knowledge, right? Because you have people who are, loading the information, so to speak, in the AI tools. Perplexity is based off of the internet. So all the information that you get off of Perplexity is real time. And again, every AI tool excels in its own thing. And this is Perplexity's thing. Perplexity is actually being positioned to be the new Google. So now instead of Googling, you're going to start perplexing. And I've been using Perplexity for that for some time. So in addition to doing company research, even researching about different trends in HR and things like that, I use Perplexity. I don't even use Google anymore. And I think even the CEO of Perplexity said that their goal is to become the number one search tool used in the future, more than Google. And I think they are well positioned to do that. So the best uses for Perplexity in a job search is, as I said, doing your company research to prepare for interviews, identifying industry trends, doing your salary and compensation research and getting insights, competitor analysis, and being able to develop smart questions for your interviews. I actually used Perplexity to do some company research for a role that I was interviewing for earlier this year when I was looking for a job for somebody else, or looking for a job for myself, and I decided to work for myself. But the information I got, I had a whole binder of information, everything from the company, the industry, the leadership team, the chief HR officer. I had information on their leading engagements, their initiatives, their acquisitions. It really got to be information overload. So the challenge with Perplexity is that it can give you so much that you really don't know what to focus on and what will be most useful to you in your interview. So here's a bonus tip on that. I would take all the information that you get from Perplexity from your search. I would then put it into ChatGPT along with the job description and your resume. I would then ask ChatGPT, here's all the information I've gathered for my research for this role. Please develop a concise report with key information that I need to know in order to have an effective interview and ask smart questions. So that's a way that you can use these tools together. And I do that all the time. But Perplexity is your go to for your company research and to prepare smart questions for your interviews. Now let's move on to tool number 4. Tool number 4 is actually LinkedIn, their LinkedIn AI job match tool. And it is a precision targeting tool to tell you exactly how well your profile aligns with a role that you're applying for. So you've probably noticed it and haven't paid much attention to it, but it's the box that pops up that gives you a score that shows you how well you score, your skills match with that job and how you compare to other applicants. So the best use of this tool outside of even that is to decide which roles to pursue and focus on, to optimize your profile before applying. Because again, that is good information that's given you. So use it to further optimize your materials. 3, use it to identify keywords and skill gaps that you may not have in your resume or your LinkedIn profile, and then use it to customize your resume strategically. So, a key tip for this particular tool is know that, let's say you only get a 60% match for a job that you're looking at, don't don't apply. Meaning don't keep that from applying, because with some tweaks to your profile and your resume and strengthening it with some of the keywords that are called out in the job description, you can absolutely become a stronger candidate just by having that information, updating your materials accordingly. And you can also have LinkedIn, the job match tool, recalibrate to give you another score once you've made those changes. Okay, so let's talk about the fifth tool. So the fifth tool is for your resume, specifically for your resume, and it's an ATS optimization tool called Rezi, REZI. So Rezi ensures that your resume passes the ATS filters without sounding like a keyword, stuffed robot. Okay. It makes sure it still balances the human element, but has the appropriate amount of keywords in order to be able to pass through the ATS filters. So the best use of Rezi is to match your resume with specific job descriptions, identifying missing keywords, getting a quick match score, and ensuring that the format you're using, is ATS safe. So you want to use Rezi for polish, but don't let it just completely recreate your story or even erase your story. Also, be sure that Rezi does not over optimize your resume, because having too many keywords on your resume will also get you filtered out. And even if it's not filtered out by the ATS system, once a recruiter sees it, they're going to be able to see that it is highly likely mainly generated by AI. So, those are the 5 tools that I strongly recommend for every job seeker, and what tools to use for which things. Now, I know there is a lot of pushback right now around AI for all types of things, and that also includes a job search. So, I'm going to take the next few minutes just to call out the pros and cons of using AI for your job search, and including these particular tools, and also some of the pitfalls, but also how you can avoid them. So, the advantages of using AI for your job search is the time saved. The time that used to take to customize each resume, to generate a cover letter from scratch, to come up with the networking intro, it used to take so much time when now it you can do all those things in a half the time or even a quarter of the time. So the time savings is huge. Two is, cleaner and stronger messaging. Just being able to read something that's very succinct and very clear, mind you, is very valuable to someone like me on the receiving end who is having to read through all these things. So it's appreciated, I think, on both sides when you're able to have these clearer, stronger, more succinct messages. The third thing is real time insights. I mean, being able to get this real timely information so quickly and being able to use it in a way that is very useful for a job seeker is game changing. Faster iteration. So just being able to get an output, make the changes, put something in, get it back out, make the changes, able to do that a lot faster than we used to be able to do. And then also clear positioning. When you are using these tools, and especially when you're sharing them among one another, then there's a common thread. There's a consistency, and each one is able to pick up on that. So it is sure to maintain that consistency across your entire profile, right? Be it your LinkedIn profile, your resume, your interviewing, your follow ups, your networking. Everything is consistent and intact when it comes to your personal brand. Now, let's talk about the cons because we have to talk about the cons because unfortunately, the cons are keeping some people from leveraging AI for things like their job search and, or people just don't even know what to do with it. So let's talk about the cons. The first con is generic outputs, even when you use AI. But the reason why you're getting generic outputs is because of weak prompts. So, as the saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. Your outputs are only as good as your prompts. And so that is why you'll notice on my podcast, the prompts I've been giving are very detailed. Some of them are half a page long. And that's not by mistake, that's by design because you want your products, your tools to sound like you and be a reflection of you. In order to do that, you have to give the AI tool the information that it needs to do that. So that's why the prompting is so very important. The second pitfall and con is over optimization. People will just rely on that to optimize their resume, put in the keywords, customize their resume to the point where it's just a bunch of garble and it doesn't sound human anymore. So again, once you get the outputs, you want to make sure that your story is intact, your narrative is intact, and that is reflective of a person and the story you want to tell. The third con, which is kind of related, is loss of your voice. Like, this is something that when people use the AI tools wrong, it tends to generate a whole different persona. So that when, the interviewer, the recruiter gets the person on the phone to do a phone screen, or even more so when they get in front of the person to interview and they're asking about these things on their resume, it's almost like we're talking to a whole different person. So you don't want the AI tool to take over, right? Remember, AI is the car, it's the vehicle. You are the driver. And you have to be able to drive the AI tool in the direction that you want to go so that you don't lose your voice and it is still an authentic reflection of you. Another pitfall is over reliance. People tend to think that AI tools are a magic bullet, that if they use the right AI tool, if they use the right way, it's going to get them their dream job. And it's not. Unfortunately, guys, looking for a job is a job. That has not changed. Do we have tools to make the process a lot easier and a lot faster? Absolutely. but it is still not a magic bullet. You still have to put work into it. So when I see things like these auto apply AI tools and people uploading their resume and their job description and asking it to update, and that's what they take and they send off, it's not going to cut it. And that's why you're not getting the results that you want or deserve. And then finally, the last pitfall is the lack of strategy. The lack of strategy is going to get you weak results every time. So that's why it's good to take a look at the big picture. Take a look at, where you want to go. What is your personal brand? And starting from there, and then identifying the best AI tools that are going to help you create the collateral that you need and make the connections that you need to get there. So the bottom line is AI is absolutely an outstanding resource. And I'm all on board. I'm all in. It is a an outstanding multiplier that allows us to be far more productive and efficient than we used to be. But note that it's going to multiply whatever you put in it. So if you are putting in weak prompts, it is going to multiply your mediocrity, your, you know, being generic. But good prompts produce power. It produces results. I have people who respond to me saying, "Hey, I used this prompt that you gave on this podcast, and hey, I started getting, callbacks. I started getting interviews." So the prompting is what makes the difference. So if you do nothing else and you're not using AI, choose one tool and start playing around with it. Find a class to learn how to do good prompting. There's plenty of free courses on YouTube. Harvard is offering courses. You have Coursera, you have IBM is offering courses, but learn how to up your prompting game because it will absolutely make a difference in how powerful your use of AI becomes. But the 5 tools I've given you will absolutely transform your job search when you use them intentionally. Again, use use ChatGPT as your operations manager. Use it for structure. Use Claude for your writer, for your voice, for your narrative. Use Perplexity for your intelligence. Use LinkedIn AI for alignment. And then use Resi for your ATS optimization and success. Now, what I would like to offer to you, we were talking about prompting, is I'm going to offer to you AI Job Search Prompt Kit. It's going to include the prompts I've included here in the show, but I'm also going to include some other prompts that you can use for each of the tools to help you up your job search game using AI immediately, because I want people to use AI effectively to make a difference, and you absolutely can. So if you're interested in this prompt kit, then comment kit below, go to my social media, Exit to Excel on LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, hashtag kit, and I'll be sure to send that kit to you. And then look for some future episodes when we go deeper into prompting. But you can also check out some other episodes where I either talk about networking, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, because I also have a number of detailed prompts on those episodes as well that you can use to immediately up your prompt game. So that's it for today. If you start using these and you see a difference, then comment, let me know. Send me a DM, let me know. Would love to hear your results. And until then, I'll see you next time. Until then, happy prompting.